The paper we're going to use to print with is this black construction paper. Construction paper is not very good printing paper, but we're going to make it work. And the way we're going to make it work is by making sure that you have put a good base coat before you add any other colors. Even if you're going to do it half and half, put a base coat and then turn the color. Otherwise you'll get an empty stripe where the two come together. So here's my design. I'm going to put my paper on top and I'm going to rub the color off. The most effective way to rub the color off is to use the backs of your fingernails or the palm of your hand. But if that's too rough on you, you can take one of these tools. I'm holding it at an angle like this, maybe about a 30-degree angle. And you'll be able to see the picture on the back. It's kind of shiny. Take as much time as you need to get the ink off. The ink is not going to come off onto your paper just because you put the paper there. From one base coat, you should be able to get 3 good prints. There's my kind of shiny, silvery image. Shiny and silvery. You can see it kind of flashing there. There's her eyes, there's her mouth. When I take it off, it has created a mirror image. And that's why I asked you not to put lettering and writing on there. There you can see her face showed up. This still has a shiny look. It still has some of that crackly looking waves. I want to just touch it up a little bit. Oh, I just noticed, isn't that beautiful how those colors mixed? And that's what I'm talking about, how it's going to be yellowish rather than just straight. I'm going to do just a little touch up. This is not a whole base coat. And I want some of that white to show up. And of course, as soon as I do this, that white's going to turn wacky doodle. Just a little touch up, and here I'm going to put it on again. Till I get that silvery effect. You should be able to get 3 reasonably good prints from one base coat. If you don't, then you probably didn't have a true base coat. The base coat should crackle. If you make the print and it turns into a blob, that means you had too much ink on your slab. When you get to a station and there's too much, fix it. Don't complain, don't point fingers, just fix it. Take that scraper and scrape it so that the extra ink goes to the top. I like that a lot too. I'm going to do one more. That's still that original base coat. Once you get your third, you're welcome to put a new base coat on. It doesn't have to be the same color. I don't recommend going to the sink and washing it, because if you get water in those cracks, it's going to print. That wasn't a base coat, they're just touch-ups. If you get water in the cracks, it's going to wick the ink into the cracks and your image won't show up very well. Whatever you want to emphasize, the things that you think are important, use contrast. Contrast the color, or contrast the value, contrast the texture. There's 1,000 ways that you can create contrast, but as an artist, you want to use contrast to let the viewer know what's important to you, what's important in the picture, what's meaningful. This is my third. There's that silvery look. And when I take it off, looking good. Each print looks different, even though it was from one base coat. Here was the first, the second, and the third. When I hang them up, I'm going to put them